Right, and to be fair, thematically, I wouldn't know the spiders are there. I just see you doing some sort of strange jive on top of the bookcase.
In fairness, yeah, I don't think you would.
Yeah. So I'll go for the webbing on Thorin.
Okay. So, Thorin, you turn around and see a crazed look in Landris's eye as he smiles and raises his greatsword up at you and swings at you. Landris, make an melee attack on Thorin.
On Thorin. 12 plus 4 is 16.
Yep, that is a hit, but you're skilled, so skilled, you try and hack through the webbing. Make an attack with your sword. What is it, 2d6 plus?
2.
2, yeah.
I got 3 plus 2 is 5.
5 points is what you needed to destroy this webbing. The webbing falls to the floor as Thorin does a little sort of jig as he brushes it off and stamps on it. Thorin, you are now free from the webbing. Any movement for you, Landris?
I probably would start very slowly heading over to the giant spider, closer towards Fergus, so left-hand side of the spider.
Like this?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. You can move. As you approach cautiously, you check. Is it dead? Is it dead? It is. But yeah, there's a mountain of a spider in front of you. It is now the single spider's turn, and Fergus, you can feel this single spider now crawling over your body.
It's got in my pants.
It managed to dodge the rolling pin of a quarterstaff. It managed to dodge the halfling palm slap. It tries its best to bite you. And it rolled a 9. Plus 4 is 13. Lucky 13. Does that beat your armor class?
No, it does not.
It does not. Sorry, that's not a 9. That's a sorry, that's not a 13. That's a 12. So yeah, it definitely does not hit your armor class. This thing is crawling all over you or around you, but cannot quite get a grip. Thorin, it's the start of your turn. You're stood in front of some smouldering webbing.
I'm going to move forward 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, I'm next to Fergus.
Okay, so
on top of the spider.
If you want to move through an ally, it costs double movement.
Yeah.
And this spider is sort of classed as difficult terrain because it's not like a flat surface. You'd have to climb over this spider, so it would cost you double movement for that.
Oh, okay.
So you could move, for example, 5, 10, 15, 20, but then 25, 30. So you can sort of end your turn standing on the spider.
Okay, I'll go there then.
Yeah.
I'll look up and I'll see Fergus with one small, tiny little spider on his nose.
Yep.
And I'll raise my longbow. I'll wink at him.
You're going to try and shoot the one spider off him using your longbow.
And I'll shoot off the remaining baby spider off his nose with my longbow.
Absolutely. Roll.
Digging around at the same time.
Roll a d20. Fergus, make sure you stand
11.
still.
Oh, sorry, no, 12.
Is that including your modifier?
Yeah.
12 is what you need to hit this thing. Its armor class is 12 with natural armor.
Boom.
That's a hit. Roll your damage.
4 plus 3, 7.
It's definitely overkill for one single spider. Yes, you as you fire your arrow, dead shot Thorin. You you pierce the one spider, and it suddenly is now sort of stuck in the wall over here, and you guys have successfully overcome this combat. That is going to be you each get 100 XP each.
Whoa. Does that mean we level up?
What is your current XP total?
I was on 130.
That means you're now on 230.
Yeah.
You need to get to 300 to level up.
300.
Yeah, you are now out of combat. All you can see moving is the sort of dead rat up here in the well, there's one above, sort of near Fergus, that's clearly been almost semi-cocooned, I suppose. Yes, but you're now out of combat. So you can
Is it still moving?
I would like to go and investigate.
Only in the sort of momentum of maybe Fergus sort of brushing it as he was sort of scrabbling around like a.
Cool.
I'd like to hop down and go and investigate the chemistry set over in.
Yeah, sure. If I move the camera like this, can you see the room?
Yep.
Like that? Yeah.
I can see that Savlon cream just right there.
Okay. So, Fergus, you coming over here?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Alrighty. Let me see. Okay, let's make an investigation check.
Three.
Yeah. You can see some broken glass equipment here. It looks as though the spider has probably trotted sort of over this stuff and crushed some of it with its big, massive, 8-legged, ungainly strides. But you can see on this desk that in among the things here, roll a percentage, your percentage dice. That's the 2d10s.
23, aka 13.
13. Lucky 13. On this table, you can see it looks like there's a tooth here from an unknown beast.
Oh, Thorin will want that. Add it to his charm bracelet.
The embarrassing thing is that this tooth is bigger than either of the things that he's snapped off so far in this adventure.
Okay, I'll take it.
There's also it looks like there's or underneath the table here, you can see almost like a kind of tiny shrine, and it looks like once upon a time there might have been candles around this shrine.
Okay.
But of course some of it has been burned by a crazy fire spider. But you can make out it looks like a shrine to a sort of statue god of some sort. But
all right.
Make a
religion.
Yeah, make a religion check. See if you can tell what this statue might have once been.
I really wish I'd put something into intelligence now. Oh my god, what's wrong with you? You stupid dice. 3 + 2 is 5.
5. This statue is crushed beyond recognition. Unfortunately, you're not sure what kind of god it is. You know for one thing for sure, it's not the. Let me see, Fergus. does have a goddess that he follows. Is that right?
Yes.
I believe you you follow the. Is it the goddess Mask, the goddess of thievery?
Based on my roles, I don't even know anymore. Like, who am I? How did I get here? What's happening?
Yeah. You can tell it's not. You can tell it's not Mask. It's not your god. It's a different god. But as to which one of the other 19 it could be, no idea. Other than that, there appears to be broken sort of lab equipment here, a crushed crate that looks all but smashed to smithereens. There's if I show this to the camera so you can see, there's like some sacks here with like green powder that looks to be pouring out of them. The powder looks like it's kind of a crushed, as if it's been a crushed powder.
Okay, I better not look at anything else in case I roll badly for it, so I'll leave the rest of the room to the others.
Well, before I go over and have a look at that green meth in the corner, I'm going to snap a tentacle giant spider.
Yeah, sure. What are you trying to take off? The one of the sort of
big
fangs from the spider, yeah?
Yeah, I want it.
Okay. This is a really big creature, so make a medicine check to see if you could judge how to maybe go about surgically removing this thing.
Oh! Roll a 20.
Is it a natural 20?
And I've got +2 for that, so 22.
Okay, well, you know exactly how to. You think, spiders. Yeah, I've dealt with spiders before. Maybe not this size, but how difficult can it be? I know exactly how to remove one of these. So now I'm going to let you roll sleight of hand with advantage.
6 the first time. 3 the second time.
Don't forget, you've got inspiration if you want to spend it.
How much more have we got to do in this mission, do you think?
Are you asking me, or are you? Was that a sort of rhetorical question?
Rhetorical, really. I can't ask you that, can I?
I feel like there was this room was kind of cleared now, and there was the other way to go, but that seemed to be blocked.
Yeah.
So I think
We've seen everything.
Just gotta go back to Davidoff after we've checked that last bit of rubble if we want to, and then
yeah.
I think.
Okay, I'm going to use it. I'm going to roll again. 20. 20. Is it done?
Hang on, move your dice tray up. Yeah, I can see it.
Oh, well done.
Nice. Yeah, this
was
time.
Was that sleight of hand or?
If you rolled a 20, then that's fine. Your medicine is perfect. Your sleight of hand is clearly perfect. After you have a couple of wibbly wobbly movements, but then you compose yourself, rub out the fact you've used your inspiration.
Yeah,
and
now.
You have managed to remove the entirety of one of these spider fangs. It is the size of one of your short swords.
Nice.
If you were to find a smithy, I reckon if you paid the smithy the right amount of money, he could probably turn that into a short sword for you.
Cool.
And you'd actually have a giant spider's fang for a sword.
Awesome. Right, I'm going to stick a boot.
Who knows what kind of damage that would do?
I'm going to stick a boot in the spider, give it one last kick, and then lean over to Landris and say, what do you want to do?
I'm going to check the book on the floor behind us.
Yep.
Just because it's art and it's open.
Absolutely. Make an Arcana check.
Arcana is +1. 10 + 1 I have still got my inspiration. I'm not going to use it just yet. I'm going to stick with the 11. Stick with the 11. 10 plus 1 is 11.
Okay. Yeah, you can see that inside the book, this appears to be some sort of book that talks about spells. And on the page that's open in here, you can see the page that's open, and it shows a spell that is written in common, and the page it's sort of a page that you could probably remove from this book if you wanted, and it describes a spell called Burning Hands.
Okay.
And it looks like this. Can you see that?
Yeah.
So you set your hands on fire effectively, and any creatures within a range have to make a saving throw.
Yes.
It's basically like doing diagonal bottom right B in Street Fighter.
Hadouken!
This what I'm going to do is I'm going to say that this is a bit like the equivalent of you finding a scroll, and scrolls work kind of like a one-time use spell. So you can sort of mutter the incantation, whatever, and you can use that spell once, one and done. And once it's done, the scroll itself sort of disintegrates or whatever. It's a one-time use. So if you are happy, if you're the kind of guy that would just tear a page out of a book, then you can rip that out.
Landris is 100% sort of guy who would tear a page out of a book.
So if you write down that you have Burning Hands, it's a one-time use action.
One times Burning Hand. I'm going to put in bracket.
Yeah.
Scroll.
Yeah. Scroll. It is the equivalent of a scroll from a mechanical purpose.
Cool.
Well, I'll do a bit more checking of things then. I'll take a punt. We'll go to what you're touching now.
If you take a look in there, they look like there's it might have once had some sort of supplies in there, but they've either long gone rotten or they've been nibbled at by regular sized rats. You'd see some sort of among the dust and everything on the floor, you'd see some paw prints here of regular sized rats, the kind that you were showing us earlier on in the session, nowhere near the size of the Rottweilers that we saw elsewhere in this place. But right in front of you, you'd see that there is a desk, and if I show you this, you would see that this thing here and this thing here appear to be two terracotta towers.
Oh.
Kind of pottery towers.
Don't smash these ones.
Well, we're missing some from a big crate.
Yeah.
Have they got anything distinguishing on them?
They look like cylindrical towers. The kind that you might see as a... is it not a minaret? Is it a minaret? They're not hugely detailed, but they look like there's two of them that are sat here.
Okay, do I know what these are? Do these look like a thing that I should know about? Or are they just things I should stick in my bag?
They look fairly nice. They look like they've been crafted by someone who knows how to throw clay. Probably using a pottery wheel. I think that's yeah. It looks like there's been.
Does it look like there's something in them? Are they a container of some sort?
I think that from your elevated position, you're just currently sort of stood on the back of this spider. You'd be able to see these two towers if you were stood there looking. if you want to go over and join him.
Yeah, I'll go over and have a look. I'm just wondering. I don't know. Like there was one box in the other room with potentially where they came in, and another empty box that's supposed to have had a hellhound's heart, right? Are these the containers for the heart?
Yeah, I feel like they're for a thing, but I don't know what I meant to do or find out or know about them.
Can we
At the minute, Landris, you're just staring into the many remaining eyes of this spider.
That is what he'd do for a while, but then I think I would, after a fair bit of quiet, probably walk around the entire bookcase towards the other guys.
Yeah. Oh, of course, you were probably just reading this spell, of course.
Yeah.
So you come around here. You'd see some crushed lab equipment here, and I'll pop you here for now. Now that you're finally here, you'd be able to see. Oh wow, there's a dead rat up in the cobweb up there.
Can we see if there's a way to open these clay containers or some kind of way to prise them open?
What is it you want to do?
See if there's some kind of opening or a way that they open up and you can see what's inside.
Yeah, are you just looking at them?
Yeah, I'm just investigating.
Okay, make an investigation check.
11.
Okay. You can see that there is some dust on the table, of course, and cobwebs, and it looks like no human or humanoid creature has actually been in here for maybe, I don't know, best part of a year or something. But you can see that there are some marks around the base of the statues, that as if they've sort of made a slight scratch or something on the wooden bench itself. I'm
going to pick one up to have a closer look at it.
Okay, yeah, if you pick it up, it feels pretty solid. Fairly weighty in your hand. If you look at the base of it, you would see a impression that reads Preddy's pottery.
Okay, I drop it.
It smashes on the floor.
Happy now?
What's inside? Anything?
There's nothing inside.
Oh.
Right, I'm bored of these statues. I'm gonna go and look at something else.
Against all of
make an Arcana check.
Who?
Fergus. When it's smashed.
Okay. Arcana check for smashing stuff. What's that? Intelligence.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
I have no intelligence. Oh my God. 3. I'm just. Oh.
You have the intelligence not to drop it on your own foot. But yeah, as it smashes, you don't really notice anything at all, other than the area that there's a ever so slight indent.
Take the other one up.
I'm gonna pick the other one up and see if, in doing so, it releases some kind of pressure release mechanic.
As you pick it up and look at the base, you can read it sees Preddy's pottery, and almost as soon as you pick it up off of the table, you can hear a clanking, kind of the sound of stone grinding against stone. The webbing that's on the wall here starts to move and stretch and snap and fray. And sure enough, you can see that a sort of hole in the wall the wall here starts to sink into the ground, leaving a 5-foot gap.
Hey.
And behind this, you can see
a glowing green sign that says exit.
You're stood here, so yeah, you can see a wall. On the back wall here, you would see this, which looks like one long shelf on the back wall, like this.
Cool.
Okay. Can we walk through that gap? Is it big enough for us to get through?
Yeah, you could. I think Fergus would probably be able to slide underneath the table and crawl through. You guys might have to climb over the bench.
Could we move the table?
You could move the table, yeah.
I'll move the table.
Yeah, if you were to move out of the way, yeah, you'd be able to move it like this, for example.
Who's got good investigation? I'm -2.
I'm +0.
I'm +1.
Okay, why don't you, Landris, go in and have a look at that
Send the noisy one in, yeah.
shelf?
He's just going to walk straight in.
He's just shoved a table out the way. Move out of the way, boys.
You'll have heard it scrape against the floor as he did it.
Yep. It's, yeah.
Surely it's just good stuff in here.
And you step in. You can see that this room is this size. You can see that this shelf runs all the way along here, and on it there are a whole bunch of sort of broken, smashed potions, files, and spilled stuff on the floor. And if you look to this side, you would see another bench like this with some little tiny things on there and a scroll.
Scrolls!
Bro.
You can also see a tiny, regular-sized rat scuttle through one of the tiny holes in the wall here. You know, I said there were holes in the wall in the corridor?
Ah.
You can see a tiny rat sort of scuttling here. This is a rat, a regular-sized rat. It looks at you a little bit scared, pauses for a second, and then sort of runs here along the. Imagine this; these are like a series of shelves, and it sort of runs along the wall, shaking a little bit in fear as it sees a 6'3" armored tank stand in the room.
Does the room look like it's been used recently, or is it as dusty as the rest of the place?
It's as dusty as the rest of the place.
I'm going to have a check on the bench above me, the bench at the top of the room.
This one?
No, the bench. The bench, please.
Yep, sure. Make an investigation check.
Okie dokie. +1. 4. +1 is 5.
5.
Wait, I am going to use my inspiration. I'm not going to use it otherwise. I'm going to use it.
Okay.
Here we go. Sweet. 7.
7. That's a bit better than before.
A bit better.
You can see a rolled up parchment in front of you. It looks like the seal has been broken, but it looks like it's quite dusty. It looks like it's been written in a language you don't recognize, but it does look like it's been written in a flowing script that you have seen today before. It looks like it's been written in Elvish.
I'm going to call Thorin in then straight away.
What health have you got left? I'm on 4.
I've got 2.
Oh my goodness.
I'm still on 11, but this is not how I would play if I was any other character.
How do you mean?
Landris is entirely gung-ho, get in the middle of it, so I'm having to play it that way. If I had made a character any other way, it would be sneaky at the back with a bow and arrow.
Right.
I'm quite enjoying it. I am enjoying it, but it doesn't feel comfortable.
But you're the one who's doing all that, and you've got all your health.
Yeah.
I know, and every single time I'm doing it, I'm thinking I'm going to roll a 1. I'm just going to lose my head. It's going to be an instant kill.
So the original mission was just go in, expand the brewery. We've done that, haven't we?
Yeah. You could play it. You could just come in, remove the rat dog things and leave. But I guess that's not the idea, is it?
Yeah. So now it's just a bit of investigation we can find.
So have found a rolled up parchment, Landris, and we're going to pass it to Thorin.
Yep, going to call him over.
Yep, sure. Thorin, you come in here, I assume.
Yeah.
Landris passes you a parchment. As you unfurl it, you can see. Well, if you were to hold it up like this,
Oh, cool.
you would see a sort of seal on it that has been broken, and the seal looks like it is a setting sun.
Oh, the Knights of the Setting Sun.
The
And
shady.
as you open it up, you can see it's written, sure enough, in Elvish. Thorin, you can read this in Elvish.
For the attention of Keziah Longstaff. Is that right? Keziah?
Kizigar Longstaff.
Kiziger. For the attention of Kiziger Longstaff. Your presence is required by the Baron of Duskovich, who wishes to see your progress. This is the second letter he has sent you. Do not make him send a third. A replacement watcher, Svetlost Argaris, has already been dispatched to your ziggurat. Besides, you owe these villagers nothing. You work for the Baron now. Travel swift, Kizigar, for the Baron is waiting. Bring the weapon with you. Brick Rose, Vendershire, Chief Scribe to His Eminence, the glorious Baron of Duskolovich.
As you're reading this out in Elvish, it's a language you recognise. You have no problem reading it. The scripture is written in a manner that suggests the person writing it has an education. Landris, what is your passive perception?
My passive perception is 13.
13, okay. You would notice that as he's reading this out, the tiny rat slinks its way across the back wall here to the potion, this potion here that's spilled on the floor.
It's gonna
Can you see that? It's kind of like a blue potion that's spilled on the floor. And it starts to sip on the potion. Its little tongue laps out and it licks at it. This blue potion is kind of like a weird, funky blue. It's not like transparent water. It's a very clear blue. And the rat, while from the duration of this letter being read, it shakes its head, sort of looks like it's straining, as if it might need to go to the toilet, but then suddenly it starts to stretch its limbs out and it begins to contort, and much like that scene in An American Werewolf in London, giant rat.
Oh, we know where they're coming from now.
Thorin is still reading the last of the letter out. He's saying, Chief Scribe to His Eminence, the glorious Baron of Duskolovich. What the hell is that? As he suddenly looks up and sees a giant rat stood behind Landris. Everybody roll for initiative.
Ooh.
Oh, goodness. 7.
16.
18.
Hey, oh, hello. Landris learned how to roll. Okay, so
I've got to add my 6 to that, haven't I? So
you do, yeah. So hang on. Can anyone beat the 18?
No.
well, I've got 22 now.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Am I right in thinking Thorin got 7?
Yeah.
7. We are reading that letter, I suppose. Okay, and I assume while this was happening, were you sort of stood on the edge of the door here, or were you?
Yeah, I was
inside
leaning on the door.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Probably listening to what Thorin's reading.
Yeah.
And yeah, you'd maybe suddenly.
I definitely noticed the rat.
Yeah, you would. I think you would. 'Cause
Thing.
this is like a bench, so you'd be able to just about see over this bench.
Yeah.
And then you might be able to see, even though technically Landris is in your line of sight, I think you might be able to see the tail or something. So yeah, it's you first in combat. You can see a giant rat stood behind Landris. What do you want to do?
I want to run in slow motion like I did on Baywatch, like this.
Yeah.
Arcing round the corner, running, getting my quarterstaff out. I'm still moving in slow motion.
Yep.
And then whap before it's even like the rat has even like acknowledged it's a giant rat now. It's
Yeah.
smacking it right on the head. It's been like in existence for a second.
See. I think you could go 5, 10, 15, 20 to get to here.
All right then. Let's do
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
Checking it's a 20. Definitely a 20. 12 plus 6, so 18 to hit.
That's a hit.
Good. So rolling a d6. 3, so that's 7.
7.
Yep.
You this rat did not see it coming. It had only been giant for probably about 1 second before you crush it back, almost back down to regular rat size, and you kill it in one swipe.
Yeah.
You each get 10 points of XP each.
Nice.
That was only a little mini,
Well done.
only a mini one. But yeah, you can see there's a little bit of that broken potion on the floor.
Ooh, can I drink
I'm
some?
not even sure if Thorin even saw what happened there. He's probably still got the scroll in his hands. He looks up and he suddenly sees Fergus stood breathing heavily over a giant rat.
Drink the potion. Drink the potion.
Well, I am quite small.
You won't be able to swim in it. Just drink some, be fine.
I mean, it is only a one shot.
Drink it. All the cool kids are doing it.
Is there a roll to resist peer pressure?
Do what Fergus would do.
Fergus is not going to drink the potion that might turn me into a giant monster. I think I might investigate the line of potions anyway.
Yeah. So if we imagine that dead rat is still here, but if you want to sort of walk along here like this, you'd make an investigation check.
I don't know why I bother investigating. I always roll like 2. Oh, 12.
You can see that part of this sort of smashed glass here that was once part of this potion, this blue potion, does indeed sort of read an in common sort of handwritten sort of sticky label on this potion, and it reads essence of GR, and unfortunately the glass is sort of smashed after that. And then as you take a look along here, there's some other sort of smashed files of glass. You can see there's one that appears to be intact, and it is rose-coloured.
Okay.
What's your hell?
2.
You should definitely drink it.
Right. I'd like to take a closer look at this pink vial. Maybe try and guess what it might be before I drink it.
Sure. Make a medicine check.
Medicine. So that's intelligence again?
It's wisdom.
Ooh, okay. Wisdom's a bit better, so that's going to be a +3. Ooh, 19 plus 3.
Okay, you dip one pinky into this sort of file and, have a quick, much like the rat did. And this tastes familiar. It tastes like that sweet, sweet nectar that Thorin poured down your neck maybe half an hour ago.
Cool. I'll knock that back then, please.
How many doses are there of it?
There's one. There's only enough for one.
You can have the other stuff, the giant stuff. Fine.
Fergus, roll 2d4 plus 2, and you'll regain that many hit points.
3, 7, 8, 9. That's me full.
You're back up to 4 hit points.
My whopping.
This is clearly where the good stuff is kept. Some quality top shelf healing potion there. And if you move on a little bit further down, you'd see there's another smashed file on the floor here. This one instead has a sort of green liquid. This is unnaturally green. Thorin, you'd see this is sort of close to your boot as well. This one has a label that is smashed on it as well, and this says Essence of Fight, as in the first two letters are F-I.
So we've got growth and fire, I reckon.
That explained a fair bit of this.
Oh. So which one do you want to drink? I've drunk one already. You've both got to drink one.
Can we do any kind of checks or investigations, or use our medicine to try and have a think about what these things might be or do?
Sure. You're stood right in front of the green one. So make a. I mean, this thing looks like a. This thing doesn't look like a healing potion. So I think this looks like some sort of magical thing. So make an Arcana check.
13.
13. Okay, you dip your pinky in this, and you sip on it, like the rat, and you can feel as it touches your tongue, you can feel it's like the spiciest chili you've ever eaten, and you can feel you're about to burp.
Oh no! Get down!
and you can feel a big burp coming, and as you do, Thorin and Landris both make dexterity saving throws.
Oh. 13 minus 1, 12.
18.
18. Okay. Fergus, you're quick, nimble, and your monk training comes in. You sort of immediately hug the wall.
From the flaming belt.
Landris, you sort of look bewildered at Thorin as he looks like he's about to burp at you, and belch like flame comes out of Thorin's mouth as he burps a fireball at you.
He's gonna lose an eyebrow.
I'm feeling like we lose an eye.
You take 6 points of fire damage.
Ow! Now I'm on 5 health.
Is there any of this essence of fur bottle that isn't smashed?
There's a little bit on the floor. It looks like you might be able to cobble together some sort of test tube and maybe try to get some of it into a one sort of potion rather.
Okay, I'm going to try and find a suitable container and collect as much as I possibly can to use it as a weapon at a later point.
Yep. I think if you were to make a sleight of hand check to see if you're careful enough to try and get enough into this file.
12.
Yep, you're able to get a little bit. It looks like you've got enough for sort of only one, like, you know, the same amount that Fergus drank for the healing potion of healing. So if you write that down in your equipment list.
Can I maybe do the same thing for the growth potion?
Yeah, sure. Make a as well. If you want to do that, make a sleight of hand check.
7, 9, 11.
11. Yeah, you're able to get one portion's worth in there. And so if you write that down in your equipment list.
So we're only assuming this is a growth potion. But
you haven't tried this one. You've.
Essence of Gra.
Yeah. It could just be a growl potion. You never know.
I mean, I'm only 3 foot. What can growing a bit? How much harm can it do? I'm gonna taste some.
Hey.
I think Fergus would do this. You know, he's always into like making new brews and trying stuff, testing it. And although his skills lay in brewing rather than, you know, chemistry.
How high is the ceiling?
The ceiling in here is probably about the same height as the other place. It's probably about 8 foot.
Okay. Considering that spider got huge, should we collect some in a vial and test it when we are outside and don't have a stone ceiling above us?
Yeah. I mean, we wanted to expand the basement. We don't want to like completely wreck it. Yeah, I still want to get paid.
Yeah, I mean, I'm planning on having the smallest amount
At least lie down when you do it, so you just go long instead of tall.
Do we think there might be any shrinking potions to fix it later?
Just be a massive halfling for the rest of the thing.
Yeah, that'd be great. World's biggest halfling. People will flock from miles around.
You'll be attempting to be like do all this extra stuff, but you'll be
I mean, 'cause it wasn't growth. It was essence of GRU. It said on it, didn't it?
No, GR. Grr.
GR. Okay.
I mean, considering we had a fire spider that was massive, the SI did the fire, the GR did the growth, or would have thought. But only one way to find out.
Okay. That's
Do it.
We like to drink with Fergus.
a little dab, just a little dab, a little bit on my little finger.
Okay, you dip your pinky into the potion that you have indeed managed to collect. It's this blue one over here, isn't it? So
I'm going to have moved as far away as possible at this point because I've learnt my lesson about these potions.
Where do you want to move?
I'll go right next to the door.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll stand behind him. Yeah, there you go. So you've got all that space to, and I reckon you lie down as you do it.
Okay, you as you take a little pinky of this potion, to begin with, nothing really happens, and you look at the other guys and say, "Do I look any different?" And you don't really think you think, "Oh, this is some sort of placebo." But then after about a minute, about the amount of time it would take for Thorin to read out a parchment, suddenly you let out a cry of anguish as you can feel your spine begin to stretch and pop and contort as your limbs begin to, and suddenly this room is 15 feet wide and you're almost able to do your patented Fergus starfish, because now you are twice the size. You are now taking up a 10 feet by 10 feet space. I don't have a Fergus that's 10 feet by 10 feet, so I'm going to put you in that big sort of square like that.
I can't get out. The corridor's only 5 foot.
I don't know why you didn't prepare a 5x5 Fergus, Tom. It seems pale.
10 by 10. I mean, if you want to, I ran this campaign for my friends, and one of my friends, Lisa, decided to drink this potion as well, and sure enough. Her character's called Merida, and she became Massive Merida.
We've been set up. He knew the whole time you'd drink the potion.
It was always going to happen.
It'd be great if when I said I drank it, and then he just brings in the giant me.
I mean, I couldn't be sure. I thought there's a chance you guys might, but then I didn't know which one of you three would drink it, because you're all mad as spoons, so I didn't know which one of you would. And I didn't have time because I was babysitting my niece and nephew today. But yeah, you are now twice the size. You've only drank a little nip though. But yeah, you feel twice the size. Suddenly you feel like you're taller than Landris. You're wider than Landris. You're 10 feet by 10 feet. You have to sort of crane your neck, otherwise you'd sort of hit your head on the ceiling.
Tell you what though, I hope this reverses, but I'm gonna hang on to it because this could come in useful.
Yeah.
Come up against a giant enemy and it's like, one moment.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm already bored of being this size. I don't know what to do. Investigate looking for something that's going to fix it.
Make a dexterity saving throw with disadvantage.
So that's roll 2 d20s.
Yeah, so you are going to be rolling dexterity saving throw,
Yeah.
but with disadvantage because you're so big and cumbersome now. You're trying to be subtle and smooth, but you've got all the grace of a bull in a china shop.
Okay, so yeah. Okay.
So your subtle movements once you were famed for, but now you're twice the size, and just by turning around, you're sort of knocking glass files all over the floor. And
Would have been a good roll. So I rolled a 19.
Yep. Roll again.
16 plus.
Oh, still pretty graceful for a big guy.
Yep.
Okay. You're moving around, looking at your own sort of massive now sausage fingers and big massive limbs. Suddenly you're like, oh wow, I'm one of the big boys. As you're sort of looking at yourself, you realize that you're actually very careful not to knock anything over. But you can see that your foot is very, very close to what appears to be a subtle, very, very subtle circular stone on the floor by this back wall.
Okay. Better be a garage door.
Hulk smash.
Guys,
Hulk
should I
smash.
press this button that I've just found next to my giant hairy feet?
Oh yeah, your big toes are twice the size as well. Yeah. Your toes now are probably the size of regular rats.
Should I press the button?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, I'm gonna, stand on the button.
Yep, you're now definitely strong enough to sort of wiggle your toe and press it. As you do, there is another sort of grinding noise similar to the one that you've heard when this door here opened. And sure enough, a 5 feet sort of gap emerges here, and you would see in here a tunnel in the behind you that's 5 feet wide, like this.
So Fergus can't get through there because he's too big.
He cannot, no.
Okay, I'm gonna.
So what am I, like 3 times the size that I used to be, or even more?
You're twice the size. Instead of you once taking up a 5x5 space, you're now taking up a 10x10 space.
I'm gonna hop over that shelf on the right then, and have a look out through that corridor.
Yep. So Thorin, you can see here there is a corridor here, and it's kind of damp, a bit. You can hear dripping. It's no way near as sort of. I mean, this place you're in at the minute is kind of dusty and damp. This is just pure damp and dank. But you've got dark vision, so I think you don't even need to make an investigation check. On the floor, you can see a little chest that looks a little bit like this.
Okay.
In front, like immediately to your this corridor sort of ends here.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna move.
And you'd see there's a chest here.
I immediately step forward and try and open the chest.
Sure. I think you'd be able to open it with relative ease.
Mm-hmm.
The hinges are almost rotted away. It's clearly been here for a while. But as you open it up, you can see that the contents within are dry, surprisingly dry in comparison to the conditions. And inside, you can see another note. And this note reads...
Don't take the potions.
Yeah. Thorin, this is written in common.
Okay. If you have found this, then the knights have found and taken me. I have tried to delay the Baron's commission, but he's no fool. This prototype must be protected. If it falls into the Baron's hands, I fear the worst. If you found this, it means I need help. If I'm still alive when you read this, that is, please help me, Kizagar Longstaff.
As you pick this up and read it, underneath you can see a golden knife. Along the blade, you can see there are some runes, not written in common, not written in Dwarvish. They're not written in Elvish. It's a language you're not quite sure what it is. Can Arcana check?
Does anyone have better Arcana than me? I'm -2.
Intelligence? No, mine's 0.
Okay, I'm going to pick up the knife and I'm going to walk back out and give it to Landris and say, hey man, what do you think this is?
Okay, as you sort of sidle past the massive halfling.
Yeah. Make a comment about how you could maybe stick off the carbs for a while.
Do I recognise the language?
What languages do you speak?
Draconic and Common.
It certainly looks closer to Draconic than it does Common, but it's not a language you recognise.
Okay.
But make an Arcana check, Landris.
Okie dokie. That's 12 plus 1 is 13.
Okay. You don't know a whole much about magic, but you've handled a lot of weapons before in your time in the army and just in your time probably doing some training. You have handled knives, spears, swords, all kinds of things. And you can probably get a feel for a weapon when it's sat in your palm. This thing, you don't really know much about magic, but you do know enough that when it sits in your palm, this thing feels evil. It brings a whole bunch of sort of emotions: jealousy, anger, bitterness, rage. It just feels like this feels like a bad weapon.
I'm probably going to hand it straight back to Thorin then and just say that there's something wrong with it.
Okay, I'm gonna pocket it and put it right at the bottom of my Dungeoneer's pack, so I'm not touching it.
Sure thing. Yeah. As you put it in your backpack feels a little bit heavier, as in you're having to, it feels like you've got a slight burden.
Was there anything else in the chest?
No, that was it. It was the note that accompanied that letter.
And then going out of that corridor to the left, is that a dead end or does it go somewhere?
It appears to, if you follow it, it appears to lead around a corner, and then it starts to flow. You can sense it going down, and you can feel trickles of water sort of flowing down into a kind of like sewer system.
Okay. I don't know if I'd be interested to go into a sewer system at this point, but I don't know how we'd get back out of here because we need double the space for that corridor.
We could use the drill.
We can use the drill. Oh yeah, hang on. If we go directly south from here, does that go back into the main room, avoiding that other corridor? How many bits of wall would we need to drill down to create an exit for Fergus to get out?
What if you just drill straight up?
Oh yeah, that's interesting.
Could you climb out if we did? Could you lift your own weight now?
Do any of you have any rope?
Yes,
Yeah.
I've got hempen rope.
Okay, maybe let's go into the room to the right, stand on top of the bookcase, and try and use the drill on the ceiling above us.
Yeah, let's do that.
You might
Okay.
get our 50 gold if we start drilling holes in the brewery.
So are you two going out here?
Yeah, we're going to climb up.
You wave goodbye to Fergus.
But I'm not in that room. It's got to be in the room I'm in.
Oh yeah, good
Fergus
point.
looks at you forlornly
Stand on
through
my
the gap in the
shoulders.
wall.
Yeah, let's go back to the other room. We'll stand on top of the bookshelf and try and drill above that.
So you want to stand on here or something?
Yeah.
Yep. So, Thorin, you've got that drill spear.
Mm-hmm.
If you spend 10 minutes, you could sort of charge it up.
Whilst I'm waiting for that to charge, I'm going to use my stone cunning to see if I can find a suitable place in the ceiling above me that would be safe to do that without causing any kind of damage or pile up.
Excellent use of stone cunning. I like that. I like it a lot. Yes, so stone cunning is something you get from being a dwarf. And whenever you make... so you're making a history check relating to the origin of the stonework in this place. And if you do so, you're considered proficient in history. So you will add double your proficiency bonus, which is +4 in this case, to your history skill check. So make a history check and add +4 to it.
12.
Okay. Yep, you can see as you sort of stand on this bench and you run your hands along the ceiling, you can find a point that seems to be, this is a safe point to drill upwards. I think this will be safe for the structure. And sure enough, you use the drill. Roll an attack. Yeah, roll a d20 roll with the drill.
I got a 9.
Okay, plus, because I think you're probably using this melee because you're stood next to the ceiling, right? So it's going to be your strength modifier plus your dexterity, plus your proficiency. So I think that's +4. So right, because that would be the same as using a short sword.
Yeah. Okay. So
13 in total.
Yeah.
Okay. You can see that as you do so, you seem to definitely make a bit of you definitely make a dent in the ceiling. You don't quite break through, but you definitely see I've loosened it. I've definitely loosened it, and you can tick off that you've used 1 charge of this device. You've got 2 more remaining.
Okay.
Do you want to do it again?
I feel like we should.
Okay, that's another d20 roll.
14.
+4 again, so it's going to be 18.
18.
Yep. Okay, this time you definitely crack through, and a large chunk of masonry falls down. Thorin and Fergus, make a dexterity saving throw to see if you can dodge the masonry that's about to fall down on your head.
We have all stood there, right underneath where I'm.
You've stood underneath it all, yeah. I mean, is Landris, are you stood underneath it as well?
I'm just to the side. You can count me in if you want.
Well, would you have? Well, hang on, I've put you on. Would you have been stood there? Where would you have been when Thorin was doing this?
He'd have been in the action. He'd have been there.
Okay, so yeah, for some reason you're stood next to him underneath the ceiling. He's about to drill. Okay,
Stood
so
nodding.
all all 3 of you make a dexterity saving throw.
20.
Natural 20, nice. You dodge it. You jump out of the way, no problem.
I got 13 plus 5, so 18.
18, yep, you're able to dodge out of the way. You knew this was a safe bit of masonry to drill. Fergus?
I rolled a 3, of course.
You're massive.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, normal Fergus dodged.
Plus 6 on that, so it's a 9.
Okay. Normal Fergus would have dodged out the way, and you probably did dodge as much as a regular halfling would dodge, but now you're twice the size, so unfortunately you've dodged, but there's still parts of you to hit. And you take 4 points of bludgeoning damage as the ceiling falls down on you.
Unconscious. And 15 feet wide.
You took the healing potion though, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I did. So I forgot about that.
You were up to full.
Oh yes, I forgot.
As the ceiling falls in, you can hear a sharp noise as you look up, and you can see a female gnome wearing a robe, and her hair is sort of tied up in a towel, as if she's just come out of a bath or a wet room, and she peers down at you.
I cover my eyes and say, "Sorry, my lady."
Evening, miss.
And you can see you've sort of drilled up into some sort of bathroom, and you can hear her shout, "Davidov! Davidov, what are you doing?" And you have drilled up into Davidov Spoonie's bathroom in his house, the annex that's onto this brewery. And after about 15 seconds, a rather flushed and nervous-looking Davidov peers over the edge of the hole in his bathroom and looks over at you guys and says, "Oh, hello. Oh, it's you guys. Oh, I was so worried about you. You were a bit longer than I thought." I hope you don't mind me asking, but what have you done to my bathroom?
We're expanding it.
You got a plunge pool now.
Yeah.
Hot
Yeah,
tub.
I mean, when I said I wanted some, to make the place a bit bigger, I didn't quite have this in mind. But who's your big friend? Wait a minute, Fergus? What the blazes happened to you?
Stop looking at me and get me out of here.
We've done the job, Davidoff. We've cleared out all of the things.
I mean, yeah, you've also, I mean, I might need a new, I'm going to need, when we said 35 gold pieces, I'm going to need some new flooring for this bathroom.
Davidoff, you get down here and you look at what we did.
Landris, make an intimidation check.
That is 15 plus 3, so 18.
Oh, I'm sorry, Landris. Yeah, you're right. I mean, you've dealt, you've made your part of the deal. Maybe this room did need a bit of TLC. Have you got a rope there? I'll help you out.
Yeah, I'll throw.
I'll get some of the boys. We'll put, do a bit of heave ho, and I don't know what we'll do about your big friend, but we'll give it our best.
I'll throw the rope up.
Cool. He catches the rope and he whistles, and some of his gnome colleagues step forward and try and haul you guys out of the hole in the floor. And that, everybody, is the end of the one shot, which was called A Most Potent Brew. Which Fergus definitely sampled towards the end. You guys definitely sampled some different kinds of brew in the first half of the one shot, but in part 2 we had a lot more action. The pace picked up, and yeah, so there you go. That was an example of a one shot, and you guys can see how, if you wanted, you could absolutely carry this adventure on with these characters. If you wanted to. It's, that's the beauty of a one shot. You could chuck it into any kind of campaign if you wanted.
So that story that we sort of started to see the snip of, with the guy being kidnapped and the Baron and the knights, that carries on into another story, does it?
Absolutely, yeah. And if you want, you could carry on playing, not tonight, but but if you wanted, yeah, you could absolutely carry on investigating. It's kind of like you could think of it as a prologue to a bigger campaign if you wanted.
Right, I see. That was good fun. How long is Fergus going to stay massive for?
Well,
Forever.
we won't know that. And, you could find out if you want to keep on playing, but otherwise, in theory, a one shot is you can just have it sit on its own, or if you wanted, you could carry on with characters, or even if you wanted to just take the characters you've got and say, I'd like to play with these guys again, but do another one shot. You could say, yeah, there's some downtime where you guys have a month off, and then sometime later you do another one shot where, I don't know, you try and do a library job or something like that.
Right. That was cool. I enjoyed that a lot. Thank you, Tom.
Really enjoyed that. It was really worth
thanks.
it.
Yeah, you're welcome. It was good fun for me as well.
Good to see old Davidoff at the end there.
Yeah. I had no idea you were going to drill upwards.
How else do people get out?
How could I?
How do people get out if they've got a fat companion?
Well, some people did just knock down just physically smash the wall, and were willing to take a pay cut for the prize money that Davidoff put up. But you drilling upwards was a really clever idea, actually, rather than just drilling through a series of walls to try and get back. Yeah.
Do we get our money to finish up?
Yes, absolutely. You can give yourself each, because you were able to intimidate Davidov into realizing that you were worthy of your money. You each get 35 gold pieces each.
Really nice.
And also, Landris, you might as well mark down that you have a keg of ale called Landris.
Job done.
Good work, guys.
There were some serious, scary moments in there, especially involving poor little Fergus.
Yeah. So close to death.
And now I'm giant.
And now you're twice the halfling.
It's a full ling.
Yeah, he's a ling.
1.5 thing.
Yeah.
Was there anything massive that we missed there at all?
I couldn't possibly tell you.
Oh man. Did you just make that bit up when we went into the bathroom? Did you just make that up?
Yeah, I had no idea you were going to drill upwards. I thought, right, well, that's probably beneath the annex. So I thought, okay, well, that's... If it's going to be in a room, it will be the bathroom, of course. Why not?
That's it.
Oh, awesome, guys. I really had a lot of fun with that. It was fun adventuring with you all.
Yeah. Thanks, folks. Right, I'm going to have a cup of tea, go to bed.
Alrighty, guys.
Bye, guys.
See you all soon.